Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Danny Makes Mead. This is episode 2 in my series. Number 1 is uploaded by the time this one is seen. So things have been going okay. I'm going to be filming this on my phone from now on because I think it makes more sense to film this on my phone than with a camera. It's just a lot easier to carry around. It's a lot easier to film with, in my opinion. And I think it really works for kind of the at-home style of this I'm doing. Now, last episode, I showed you guys how to start the process of making a sicer, which is an apple honey mead. And today, I'm going to show you the second step. Luckily, I have this 1 gallon batch that I made before any of this really started. So I can kind of show you the second step, even though the initial batch isn't ready for that yet. So this video is going to center around that. And it's a process called degassing. And it's pretty simple. I'm going to go over that, what's next in the process, and maybe just talk a little bit about my experience recently during the quarantine. All right, there we go. This isn't the best camera angle to show both myself and the mead, but maybe I'll pick it up and kind of show you as I go along. So first of all, I'm going to talk about why we degass and kind of what degassing is at the same time when it comes to mead. And also you do this for things like wine or cider or really anything you ferment in this way that is an alcohol, you would do this. So as fermentation takes place, you get all your good benefits. You get the creation of alcohol, you get, changing of flavors, the consumption of sugars, and then being changed into both lactic acid and also alcohol. This mostly alcohol, unlike kombucha, which would be mostly acid. Now, it's a great process and it makes a lot of things that we know and love and enjoy in life, but it also produces off flavors. And what those off flavors are byproducts of the yeast digesting those sugars and creating alcohol. And they can kind of make things, as they're referred to in this world, taste or smell footy, which is just kind of funky and off. And apparently a lot of people make the mistake where they smell their brew or whatever, and like most batches would, initially it smells kind of weird. But they haven't degassed it. After you degass it, the smell could be totally gone, and it could be like a totally different drink at the end of that. So to degass, you're gonna need one of these. I don't like to use a ton of soap when I do this, but what I do, because I really just don't want any kind of residual soapy anything, but what I do is before I use anything, I put my faucet to the point where it's steaming hot, and I just run this under the faucet for, just 30 seconds, get every surface of it, just to make sure there's no residues on there, and, just to generally clean it. I put this on there because I thought it looked cool. So this is how we're going to degas. First of all, I'm going to take this off. Remember this is the airlock, keeps CO2 in and oxygen out. And let's see what we got. I haven't seen this in quite a while, so I'm pretty psyched. So that's what that looks like, and all that solid stuff on top, that's just pieces of apple. So what you're gonna do is, you don't wanna introduce oxygen into this because then it can turn into vinegar basically. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but the less oxygen in here, the more alcohol, the less vinegar you're gonna get. So you wanna not disturb the surface tension of it. That doesn't make sense, the surface of it. So you're just gonna put that in there and slowly stir. So you're letting the gas release, and I'm also mixing up the last of that stuff on top, just so that stops floating on the top and gets fully, digested by the yeast. On that note, I'm actually gonna kind of get as much of there as I can into the brew while I do this. This is kind of awkward. You don't have to focus on this part. I might cut this part, I don't know. Or maybe the whole thing of me doing this. It's been a rough quarantine. It's been nice having the off time and the family time, but it's been rough. All right, now that I got all that goodness in there, I'm gonna keep degassing, and I'm gonna do this for about maybe another 15 seconds. Because again, you don't want to go crazy. Because if you go crazy with it, then you're gonna basically get a vat full of vinegar, which might be good. Honey apple vinegar. Charge like $50 for that at Whole Foods, and people would be like, oh my God, that's so healthy. Buy it. What does this smell like? Oh my God, it just smells like apples and honey. It smells so good. I can't wait to drink this. Like, I literally cannot wait to drink this. All right, that's good. I really don't want to overdo it. And I can see there's just a ton of bubbles. I think I did overdo it. I was talking too much, right? A ton of bubbles coming out at the very top of this, which you can see. And all right, it's been about 4 minutes now since I started this part of it. And yeah, that's really it. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy some wine bottles and some corks and something called a corker. Wait, this should be like this. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to flip that. Oh shit. I'm gonna have to cut this whole part. So now I'm thinking. So the next step here is I'm gonna buy a corker, a wine bottle, So the next step here is I'm gonna buy some wine bottles, some corks, and a corker, which is the thing you need to get corks onto wine bottles. And I'm gonna basically bottle this as a still sizer. And that's gonna be the next step of this. And I might even try to carbonate one, which I wasn't gonna do initially, but I might do for the sake of having something to do my next video on, because this one should be ready in about, I'd say 8 days. It's been a month. It should be ready. It should be fully done producing carbonation, which means it's safe to bottle. Yeah, so I'll check in with you guys in 2 weeks' time, and we'll bottle this. And 2 weeks after that, I'll be able to drink it. So that's pretty cool. See you guys around. Happy quarantine.